This was me in March of 2025, and this is me in January of 2026. And what's surprising is not just how different I look, it's how different I had to do things to get here. If you're over 35 or 40, body recomposition can be really confusing. What used to work doesn't work anymore. You might be working out or eating healthy, and yet your body seems to be getting softer and not stronger. And let's face it, that can totally mess with not only your motivation, but your mental health. So what actually matters now? In this video, I'm gonna share what I did to get here and some of the biggest things I had to learn along the way, my results, and my recommendations for you if you're just getting started. And I'm saying that carefully because it was a lot, and a lot of food. Yes, you heard me right. Quick reminder, I am not a trainer, a nutritionist, or a doctor. I am just a 43-year-old mom who loves trying new things for my health and wellness and sharing what I learn in case it helps someone else. A few of the things I had to learn in order to get here is that I finally had to start focusing on strength differently than before. I started taking it more seriously. I slowly built my basement gym. I stopped dreading working out, and I thought about strengthening my body for the decades that follow. So like when I'm a grandma and I want to run with my grandkids. Next up, I stopped under eating. This was probably the biggest, most impactful thing I had to learn. At first, I started eating the right amount of protein for my age and weight, and then fats and carbs followed. I couldn't take all of them on at the same time because it just felt too overwhelming. Next up is I gave things more time than I wanted to. So tracking macros, lifting in the morning, all of it was more time than I had ever spent on these things, but I now love it and I'm not spending as much time, if that makes sense. And I stopped treating stress, hormones, and sleep like side notes. I realized everything is connected and it all needs some attention. This wasn't until I started the last program I did that I feel like all of the new things I've learned over the last year really started syncing up and started picking up momentum. I started Shred Happens by Hailey Happens in October after living heavy and doing a few of her other programs since March. Shred Happens consists of 9 weeks, but I extended it to 12. While editing, I realized that it's actually a 6-week program that I extended to 9 weeks. Of lifting, cardio, and eating at a minor deficit, which is about 300 to 400 calories a day, all inside her app, Hailey Happens. She's seriously amazing, her community is great, and she's an awesome cheerleader. So for me, in this program, that looked like lifting 3 full body days a week. So for cardio, that looked like 2 days of sit and or hit and 1 day of low impact steady state cardio. So yes, if you've added that in your head, that means I had exactly 1 day off for 12 weeks. And for me, that day was on glorious Saturday. For eating, I was tracking every single thing I ate. And yes, some days I was not perfect and some days I was lazy and some days I didn't have enough groceries. So I was going into a deficit for 12 weeks. And keep in mind, these 12 weeks were over Christmas and Thanksgiving. I still made cinnamon rolls on Christmas Day, and I still made cookies and had pie at Thanksgiving. So I wasn't tracking everything on the holidays. I did decide to take a bit of a break some days and just, enjoy the holidays. But I also learned a lot in her Nutrition Happens course, which I recommend if you're wanting to get more knowledge and understanding of what's going on in our 35 and up bodies with, when our hormones start to take us on a bit of a roller coaster ride. In March of 2025, I began lifting heavy, as I mentioned, and as you can see on this chart, my weight did not change for many, many months. I did an in-body scan 4 months after I started lifting heavy. I had not lost any weight. I had not gained any muscle, which was really, really discouraging, but I did lose a few inches. And yes, I know so many of you are like, Erin, you need to do a DEXA scan. I'm working on it. One day it's coming, and yes, I will share. In March, I also increased my protein as well, but it really wasn't until October that I began really tracking my fat and carb intake. And what's funny is that in October, I started a slight deficit due to doing Shred Happens, and I was actually eating more carbs and less fat than normal. And if you take a look at my chart again, you'll see that's exactly when I started to drop some pounds. So after looking at this and thinking about things, once I started understanding macro tracking more, I suspect that before shred, I was probably eating too much healthy fats every day and not enough carbs. I also randomly started using a natural hormone cream around September that could have something to do with things balancing out. I'll share a link to that below. But after I finished Shred Happens, you can see I lost a total of 8 pounds and some inches that I'll throw up on the screen because I have to take my inches again because it's been a while. So if you are just getting started, a few of my recommendations for you that I wish someone had told me is stop letting your excuses get in the way. Maybe it's cost, maybe it's age, maybe you think it's genetics, and these have all been a crutch for you, but they don't have to be. There are ways around all of these things. And again, remember, I'm not an expert, but I have definitely learned this through experience. Number 2, I would absolutely suggest to read the book Next Level by Stacy Sims. I will throw the link in below. I first got it from the library and soon realized that I just needed to own it. It helps you understand what workouts work best for 35 years and up, and how much protein and fat and carbs we need daily, and really also the best cardio we need for our hormones and reducing belly fat, not to mention supplements, adaptogens, etc. Next up is I highly suggest downloading the Hailey Happens app and try a few of her sample workouts, even if you can't afford her programs. There are free samples for workouts in there. But if you can budget her monthly memberships, go for it. I love it because it gives you access to her Facebook community, and you'll be able to ask questions and have support and accountability. And there's a ton of workout plans and resources within that monthly membership. But if you can't budget that right now, you could try a few of her free sample workouts and maybe even ask ChatGPT to create other workouts like it that you can do on your own. Or, we know there's a ton of good stuff on YouTube as well. So if anybody has recommendations they want to share in the comments below, go for it. Next up, and again, do not try all of these things at one time, but try macro track. If you feel like you're working out and everything is on point, maybe your macros are off. So track your protein, your carbs, and your fat, as well as your fiber. You will be so surprised at what you're eating or not eating in my case when you try it, and it will really, really make a huge difference. And yes, it is super tedious and annoying at first, but soon you will get the hang of it and you'll notice you can do it without much effort. Hailey does provide macro maintenance and deficit budgets in her Shred Happens and Fat Loss Happens programs, but you can also get that information in Stacy Sims' book, Next Level. And last but not least, sister, be patient with yourself, okay? You cannot do all of this at once. And yes, it's gonna take way more time than it used to, but that's okay because this is not about bikini season, rather about being strong in midlife and beyond. So remember that. I am starting Hailey's program, Fat Loss Happens, next. It's pretty much if Nutrition Happens and Shred Happens came together and made one program in one program. So I am going to be starting that program, and I'm doing that through April. But after I did Shred Happens, I did a program called Foundation Happens, which is really all about like strengthening weak link muscles to prepare you again and prepare your body for heavy lifting. Hailey is really smart about that sort of stuff, especially as we age. So if you've never done that sort of thing, I definitely recommend doing some foundational work after you've done some really intense programs. Friends, I hope this was encouraging for you because it took me a long time to realize that this was not going to be a quick thing. This was going to be years of work. So I'm committed to really doing this for the rest of my life. This year, I have a goal of doing my first pull-up. So I've been working on dead hangs. I've got a video coming out about that. But I just want to hear from you. Like, what is something you're working on for your health to be stronger longer? What are some wins that you've had recently? And if you have any questions for me about any of the things I've done over the last year, I am here to encourage you, to inspire you, to tell you that it doesn't happen super quick, but over time, you're gonna see progress. Just keep at it. You're gonna feel better emotionally, physically, mentally. I know I sure do. So I'm gonna keep sharing my progress and journey here with you. I look forward to seeing you in the comments because, as you know, that's where all the community happens on my channel. And I will see you next time. Bye, friends.